Hi everyone, Kate here. I'm going to show you a way that we can use a remote food delivery device in scent work training. So this is a manners minder, also called a treat and train, and there's a few ways that we can use it in scent work training. So the way that this device works is the food goes into the top compartment, and I have a remote trigger. And when I push the remote, I can deliver the food out into the cup at the bottom. The machine also has a beep option, which we can use like we would use a clicker. So if I push the dispense button, we get the beep and the food spits out. Good girl, matey. Okay, down. Good girl. Good. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that we can use the manners minder in scent work training. One way is to help with our trained indication. If we're teaching the dog a sustained freeze where the dog is focusing on the source of the odour, and we can use it for that. The other way that we can use the manners minder is to use it as a remote reward. So a remote reward is a reward placement not coming from the handler. So the dog is signalled that it's received a reward using some kind of marker system, a clicker, reward signal, and then the dog can go and access the reward away from the handler and away from the, in this case, away from the odour. So I'll just set that up and show you a couple of options. Good girl. So if I'm going to use the manners minder to help me teach my dog to do a sustained focused response, meaning staring at the place that the odour is coming from, the concentrated source of odour, I can put my tin with my Q-tips in. This is birch that I'm using, birch essential oil. So I can stick that with a bit of blue tack up underneath, just next to the hole where the food comes out. So that's going to focus my dog on that point, and I can release the food and gradually build up the length of the duration of the trained response. So let's see what that might look like with a dog. So one of the disadvantages of this technique is that the odour and the food are paired together. Normally what I do is I associate the odour with the appearance of the food, but because of the food being in this container, the dog is going to smell the food as well as the odour. Some people do use pairing as part of their training methodology, so it's not that it's not effective, but at some point we do need to remove the food. But what we can do to teach the dog to that only the odour pays and not the food is we could have some distraction containers of food around, whereby the dog only goes to the source of the odour to obtain their reinforcement. Another thing that we could do is we can actually try and camouflage the manners minder by placing it inside a cardboard box. We'll do that in a minute. To make it look a little bit less obvious that it's a manners minder. A third option that we could use is you could use two manners minders, one with food in but no odour and one with food and odour, so that only the one with the odour is the one that's going to be the one that the dog gets paid from. So let's have a look at those. Research. So another way that we can use the manners minder is as a remote reward, where the dog locates the odour, hears the beep, and goes to the manners minder to receive a reward. So it might take a little while just to switch my dog over from thinking that the manners minder is the source of the odour to understanding that the odour is elsewhere and she needs to go to the manners minder to receive her reward. So I'll spend a little bit of time doing that first. One of the advantages of using a remote reward is that while my dog is going to receive the reward, I can then move the position of my odour container. Search. And search. Look at it. Maybe search. Maybe search. Look at it. Because my dog already knows the cue to search, and there's no odour on the manners minder, she left it very readily to come and explore and find out where the odour was, and then very quickly understood that she needed to indicate on the odour, and then she could go and get her reward from over there. So just a few little ideas for you to play around with. I hope that helps. Happy sniffing. So one of the disadvantages of this method is that the food and the odour... All right, Maddie, you're going to have to go in the crate. Come here. Yeah. Go in the crate.